The actor's getting to a lot of activity in the pool, and it is a little slippery, so we just don't want any flashes possibly distracting them. If you are not using flash photography, feel free. And mentioning the pool, there's a splash zone. If you're sitting in the first 2 rows, you are probably, I just heard a yes, so that was a big goal for the evening. Yes, you're probably going to get wet if you're in the first 2 rows, and if that's why you're here, then you're sitting in the right spot. Tonight we are also, throughout the entire run, we are fundraising for the American High School Theatre Festival trip to the Edinburgh Festival Fringe in 2012, which has gotten the longest trip name in the world. What that is we've been invited to take a show on tour next summer to the Edinburgh Festival Fringe, which, if you're not familiar with it, is the biggest and most famous performing arts festival in the world. We went in 2008. We have some alumni in the audience that were there for it. Feel free to ask them about it over intermission, but the bake sale and part of the ticket proceeds are all going to fundraise so that every student who deserves to go can go, regardless of price. So we thank you for any and all support in that. Outside of that, our emergency exits are just behind you. If you do have to evacuate the building, we'll pull up the house lights and the ushers will show you out. Please silence your cell phones. It's the first time I've ever remembered to say that the entire run. And thank you, and please enjoy Pericles' Prince attire.
Prince Pericles, you at large receive the danger of the task you undertake.
I have, Antiochus, and with a soul emblazoned by the glory of her praise, think death no hazard to this enterprise.
Bring in our daughter, clothed like a bride, for the embracements even of Jove himself, at whose conception Terusia reigned, nature this dowry gave to gladden her presence. The Senate house of planets all did sit, and it in her, their finest perfections.
See where she comes, herald of the spring. Graces her subjects, and her thoughts the king of every thought that brings renown to man. Face the book of praises for none but curious pleasures are read, and as thus anger was ever raised, and anger could never be her blithe companion. Oh, you gods that made me man, and sway in love to taste the fruit of yon celestial tree, be my help. I am the son and servant to your will in pursuit of such divine.
Prince Pericles,
that would be the son to great Antiochus.
Before thee stands fair Hesperides, with golden fruit, but dangerous in touch. For death-like dragons here affright thee hard. Her face, like heaven, enticeth thee to view her countless glory, which desert must gain, and which, without desert, Because thine eye presumes to reach, all thy whole heap must die. Yon sometimes stands princes like thyself, drawn by report, adventurous by desire, tell thee with speechless tongues and semblance pale, that without covering, save yon field of stars, here they stand martyrs, slain in Cupid's wars, and tell thee with dead cheeks to desist for going on death's net, whom none resist.
Like a champion, I assume the list, nor ask advice, save faithfulness and courage.
Scorning advice, read the conclusion then, which read and not expounded, 'tis decreed, as those before thee, thou thyself shalt do.
Of all saying yet, mayst thou be prosperous. Of all saying yet, I wish thee happiness, my lord.
I am no viper, yet I feed on mother's flesh which did me breed. I sought a husband, in which labor I found that kindness in a father. He's father, son, and husband mild. I'm mother, wife, and yet his child. How these may be and yet in two, as you will live, resolve in you. Sharp physically, alas. Only power to give heaven countless eyes to view men's acts. Why cloud not our sights entirely? This be true, makes me pale to read it. For a glass of light I loved you and could still, were not this glorious casket stored with ill. And now I must say my thoughts revolt, for he's no man on whom perfection's wait, and knowing sin within would touch the gate. You are fair, Bible, your finger to make man her lawful music, but being played upon before your time. Hell only danced as to such a chime. Good sooth I care not from you.
Prince Pericles, touch not upon thy life, for that's an article within our law as dangerous as the rest. Either expound now, or receive your sentence.
Great king, few love to hear the sins they love to act. 'Twould braid you too near for me to tell it. Who has a book of all that monarchs do? He's more secure to keep it shut than shown. And the end of all is but thus dear. The breath is gone and the poor eyes see clear. To stop the wind would hurt them. The blind world cast cocktails towards him and come to tell the earth is thronged with man's oppression and the poor worm doth die. Kings are earth's gods, in laws, their vice, their will. If Jove doth stray, who dare say Jove doth go? It is enough, you know, it is fate. I'll love the womb there being bred, and give my tongue leave to love my head.
Prince Pericles, by the tenor of our strict edict, your exposition misinterpreting, we might proceed to cancel your days, yet hope, succeeding from such a tree as thy fair self doth tune us otherwise. 40 days longer we do respite you, if by which time our secret be undone, this mercy shows, and will joy in such a son. And until then your entertained shall be, as doth befits our honor and your worth. He hath found the meaning for which we mean to have his head. He must not lift the trumpet forth mine for me, nor tell the world that Jefferson doth sin in such a loathing manner, and therefore instantly this prince must die. For by his fall, my honor must be kept high. Who attends us there? Thaliard!
Doth your highness call?
Thaliard, you are of our chamber, and our mind partakes our private actions to you. And for your thankfulness, we will reward you. Thaliard, behold, here's poison and here's gold. We hate the Prince of Tyre, and thou must kill him. It befits thee not to ask the reason why, because we bid it. Say it is done.
My lord, 'tis done.
Enough. Let your breath cool yourself, telling your haste.
My lord, Prince Pericles has fled.
As thou wilt live, fly after! Like an arrow shot from an expert archer's bow that doth hit the target his eye levels at.
My lord, if I can get him within my pistol's light, he shall be taken care of.
Thaliard, adieu. Adieu! till Prince Pericles be dead, my heart can lend no succor to my head. Thank you.